Label.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Aaron Linson with Linson Productions. And today, I wanted to talk about the differences between the Aftershokz Trekz Air and the Bluez 2S. Now, the Bluez 2S is 2 generations behind than the Trekz Air, and it shows. But before we get into that, you can go to Sunu.io, that's SUNU.io, and use the promo code capital L, capital P to get 10% off your Sunu band. So what is the Sunu band? Sunu band is the sixth sense to the blind person. It allows you to know where gaps are, to move up your place in line, and to avoid obstacles that are above your that you can't see with a cane. And you might be asking, well, does it work? And it does really work. I use it at work all the time. And whereas before I had it, I was running into obstacles and just trying to figure out my way around. Even though I knew it, there'd be stuff put in my way and I would know it. Now with the Sunu band, I am not afraid of that at all. I can move around with ease and I am totally fine. Again, you can go to Sunu, that's SUNU.io, and get 10% off with the promo code capital L, capital P. And we thank Sunu and the Sunu Band for sponsoring the LP Podcast Network. So, the differences. Well, the Bluez 2S are made of plastic, and you can tell because they are plastic. They can be stretched, but I wouldn't stretch them a lot. The pads and the sound are okay. Again, for bone conduction headphones, they are pretty good. The sound is pretty good. They do feel, after wearing the Aftershokz Trekz Air, really, really heavy compared to the Trekz Air on your forehead, because that's where they sit, is on the forehead, right between the ears. And these kind of sit, and the 2S, Bluez 2S, kind of sit kind of lower on the jawbone of your ear, whereas the Trekz Air are more rugged, more versatile. You can stretch them in any way. The design is different, so the batteries are held in 2 little compartments that are very, very small. There's nothing around the band that goes around the side of your head, and the Trekz Air kind of curved to the ears, whereas the Bluez 2S have sort of like an angled, almost like a 90-degree shape that just sits on your head. And the Trekz Air feel a lot better to wear for longer periods of time. At work, I wear them all the time, and I'm totally fine with them. They don't hurt my ears like the Bluez 2S would do after a long while. And they're just overall just a nicer pair. The voice, when you do turn it on, is a little bit different, I think, from what I can tell. Within the Trekz Air, you have 2 buttons. There's a little bump on the first one to turn it on, and that turns it off as well. And then you have another side button to turn the volume up and down. The USB port on the Trekz Air is still a micro USB, which is totally fine with me. I've got tons of those, so I'm totally fine with that. And you just flip it out with your nail. And sometimes it can be hard if you don't have any nails to do that, but you do just flip it in there and you're good to go. It is covered by a little cover, which is totally fine. And it's easy to remove, and it doesn't get caught by the USB cable or anything. So that's totally fine and totally good, because with the Bluez 2S, I just took that one off because it was hard to get back on and to stay in this position. So I just took it off and just dealt with it like that. With the Bluez 2S, you do have this rubber band around here, and this has come off somewhat on the top, so I've had to super glue it on the bottom, and it's just not a really good solution. But it did work, and it does work. It still does work. With the Bluez 2S, you do have a single power button, and then you do have a volume slider that is totally independent. And then you have the USB portion here on the Bluez 2S. And again, this feels plastic, and it is, and it did work for a while. I just decided to get the Trekz Air because I wanted something different and something a little bit lighter. And the Bluez 2S were falling apart on me, so I needed something different. These are not a replacement for listening to AirPods, and I still have those. I gave those to my wife. I do want to get a second pair of those, however, because there are some things that the AirPods do well, like listening to music and drowning out noise, that the Trekz Air don't. The Trekz Air have never, and the Aftershokz products have never been a music consumption device, and even Aftershokz on their website say this. More for listening to voice and understanding what's around you, and hearing what's around you is more important. And again, as a voiceover user on iOS devices, I prefer having both of my ears open when traveling as much as possible so that I can hear what's going on. Now, you do get a pair of, what are those things called? Earplugs. And they do enhance the experience. I've tried that, but again, I would only try it when I'm not traveling, when I don't really have anything to do, when I know my environment, because again, I like having my my Trekz Airs on me and my ears open so that I know what's going on. So these are really good for podcasts, and since I listen to primarily a lot of podcasts anyways, I tend to use the Trekz Air more than the AirPods when I can grab them from my wife when she's not using them. But anyways, do I think the Trekz Air are a worthy successor over the Bluez 2S or the Trekz Titanium? I believe so, because these are a lot smaller, and they're just really, really, really light. I mean, I can put them over my neck here, and I can kind of tell that they're there. But then sometimes when I'm not engaged in the Trekz Air, and when I'm just moving around, I forget that they're on my neck. That's how light they are. So this has been Aaron Linson with Linson Productions and the LP Podcast Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Linson_Pro LLC. That's LINSON_Pro LLC. You can give us a call at 502-536-9131, and we'll play your comments on the air on the next podcast. You can also subscribe to us on Spreaker or through the RSS feed over at linsonproductions.com underneath the LP Podcast Network link. And you can get all of our podcasts through your favorite podcast player by doing that. And we encourage you to do that because that's the awesome and best way to do that. You can email us linsonproductionsllc@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook. We have our own Facebook page. Just search for Linson Productions LLC, and we will be the first one there. And I believe that is all for this podcast. The Trekz Air will cost you $150 from Best Buy, from the website. From Blind Bargains, they're a little bit more, but you do get the warranty with that and tech support with that. So if you do want to go that way, you can. So help out and support an awesome company. But other than that, guys, we'll see you guys in the next podcast. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please get a hold of us at the links and phone numbers and email addresses provided. So it's been Aaron Linson with the LP Podcast Network. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Pause button.